The Nintendo Switch is already 8 years old, and it's time to officially say goodbye and welcome the Switch 2. All I can say is, wow. Where did the time go? How did this console turn 8? The longest lasting Nintendo console and one of the most sold consoles too, just shy of the PS2 and DS. I have so many happy memories with the Switch, as I'm sure you do too. So before sending this bad boy off in style, I want to look back on the effect this console had, its amazing games, and its success. I remember the Switch Direct like it was yesterday. At the time, Nintendo was at a low point. The Wii U wasn't hitting like the Wii, but the 3DS was keeping them in my household. I reached a point where Nintendo just wasn't quite suiting my needs, and I had moved on to explore the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 4. I thought the Wii U was good, but not spectacular. Then the announcement for the Switch came out. The hardware direct and the direct for upcoming games came out, and it changed everything. It was like an improved, wildly buffed version of the Wii U. More slick, better designed. It was that push Nintendo needed, and it felt like the gaming experience that us Nintendo fans needed, but didn't know we needed. I was hooked immediately. I needed to get my hands on a Switch as soon as possible. I remember prior to its release, and even within the first year of its release, those elite gamers would make comments about how its graphics are limited and it won't sell. You know the type. These are the duds who only play Call of Duty or Madden. But I told those people they were wrong because of one simple fact. Nintendo focuses on fun. They are more focused on the user experience than the console performance. And I'll be honest, I just don't care about visually impressive games. I don't need Mario to run in 4K 60 frames per second. If the game is fun to play, then everything else will follow. Not to bash other consoles, but you've seen the running gag, the PS5 has no games. And while there's only a little truth to that, this is precisely why the Switch has succeeded. And in my opinion, it's why Nintendo has been winning the game the past 8 years. They made a console that's fun and accessible. But it goes deeper than that. Nintendo got their hooks into people who have walked away from gaming entirely, or never really had an interest in gaming to begin with. I've had a lot of fun conversations with friends, family, coworkers, even strangers who wanted to learn more about the Switch because I was right there playing it. A coworker once asked if she should get the Switch Lite because she was interested in a few games, but didn't have a need to dock it to a TV. One time, I was riding a train into a city, playing the new Zelda game, Breath of the Wild, and a crew member stopped what they were doing to watch me play and ask questions about the Switch. I will never forget this interaction. It felt magical. It's just really cool to see that anyone and everyone found an interest in the Switch. It has that kind of effect on people. I keep saying console when it's obviously a hybrid console handheld. And to further state the obvious, that's the real charm of the Switch. If this was exclusively a handheld device that allowed the Joy-Cons to pop off and immediately experience multiplayer on that handheld, it would still make for an amazing piece of technology. It's that extra bonus that this little device can also be played on a television at ease. It's what makes this device extra special. When I'm surrounded by family or friends and gaming, without a doubt, we're playing something on a TV. Otherwise, well, I might not be gaming as much unless it's on a handheld. I've had a lot of long commutes in my adult life. Maybe an hour train or a few hours on a plane where I'm doing nothing but sitting. From the Game Boy Advance all the way to the 3DS, that's pretty much how I get the most out of gaming these days. And without the Switch's adaptability, I would have missed out on amazing games such as Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, Mario Odyssey, Smash Ultimate, Kirby and the Forgotten Land, Animal Crossing New Horizons. You get what I'm saying. I would have spent significantly less time experiencing some of these amazing games if this was purely a console. Once in a blue moon, I might have the time to sit down on the couch and actually play this on the TV, like the good old days. But I don't always want to play it on the TV. Maybe I've got a movie or show on. At least I can still multitask and let the movie play while exploring my island, or play an hour in bed before I hit the hay. The Switch being this mobile and easy to switch from handheld to console is beautiful. It continues to be this incredible gaming experience. Speaking of gaming, let's talk about the insane catalog of games that are available to this system. The very first year of the Switch felt very different than the current year. I'm looking back on these first title releases during the first year, and while it might not seem like a ton right off the bat, I remember it feeling special for a handful of reasons. Number one, it gave us time to fully process a new game without rushing on to the next big release. The big three of Nintendo are Mario, Zelda, and Pokemon. Pokemon is kind of its own beast, but without a doubt, it's Mario and Zelda. I don't really care what you think about Breath of the Wild. This was a humongous, highly anticipated game. We were hungry for the next big thing for Zelda. So this game sharing the same release date as the next generation of Nintendo was the best feeling. Number two, the next big Mario game, Mario Odyssey, would be released only 7 months after. I remember this feeling like a deadline for Breath of the Wild. Deadline sounds harsh, but what I mean is I felt no rush to complete the game. Obviously, there were other titles in between these two release dates, but knowing that I had 7 months until the next big game, it allowed me to play the Zelda game to the fullest potential, not fall behind, and finish it with plenty of time before Mario. I haven't played either game since because they're massive and there's so many more games to play. But that's exactly my point. The first year was this lovely period where I could complete the game without any rush and not drop it to jump onto the next big game. Number three, this time was special because I was able to briefly jump around to other games getting released for more casual play and multiplayer. Just a couple games to take a quick refresher break from the main game I was playing. I had always taken an interest in Splatoon, but never bothered with the first game on the Wii U, so Splatoon 2 was a great opportunity to get started. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is this bigger and badder version from the Wii U, and I was pumped to get it. I'm not a Xenoblade player, and I've dabbled a little bit of Bayonetta, but regardless, the catalog was growing at a comfortable pace, and there was a little something for everyone. I won't sit here and talk about how the catalog would grow with banger games each and every year, but it did. But not just with more games, but with games that look incredibly fun for practically every series under Nintendo. Okay, that's an overstatement, but I loved seeing beloved characters get the recognition they deserved. Kirby got a lot of love on this system. Yet another Luigi's Mansion title. Amazing looking and back to basics fun with Mario Party titles. WarioWare, Pikmin, bundles to old games. So many different Mario and Zelda spin-offs. The build up to a new Metroid game with all these HD remakes and bundles. The ultimate Smash Bros. Ultimate. Donkey Kong finally getting back in the spotlight. New Animal Crossing. I don't even want to open this can of worms, but so much Pokemon. You get the point. There's never a dull moment with the Switch. And this is just focused on Nintendo exclusive games. There's an even wider list of games from other developers. Games that would previously never be seen on a Nintendo device. And that's an extra level of special. Because this opened the door to playing more games I wouldn't otherwise consider, because I knew I wouldn't have the time to sit on the couch and play it. Playing it while traveling is a different story though. I haven't even talked about the available titles through the online service, Nintendo Switch Online. While I deeply miss the Virtual Console and prefer it over NSO, I'm just happy that there are still ways to pick up these older games. Nostalgia will always play a big role in this, but there's also plenty of games I've never owned or never got to experience. NSO is totally flawed, and this isn't the time for me to debate its pros and cons, but I'm one of those folks who found 7 other people to get together and collectively share the service. So I'm cool with it for now. Like I said, there's plenty of games from the past I never got to experience. The Nintendo 64 was my first ever console to own. Everything that came before it might have popped up for me in the past, but I'm certainly missing out. While I technically own a copy of Donkey Kong Country 1 for the SNES, I don't have the console to play it, and I really want to play Country 2 and 3 soon. So for now, I'm just happy this is an alternative option to play it. Legally, that is. Older games are so expensive and difficult to find these days. I'm okay with NSO for now. Even though I own a handful of N64 games, it's great to revisit them while I'm on the road. Save states and rewind functions are, well, cheesy, but I've come to really appreciate save states when I just want to relax play and not stress play. And rewind is something I don't mind abusing for a game I played decades ago. Like Pokemon Stadium, I love you, but come on, you're so busted. I'm gonna cheese it from time to time. While NSO is a flawed service, it's always exciting when they make a little announcement for the next round of games getting added. Obviously, these games should have all been added all at once, but I can't deny that I enjoy the curiosity and what's coming next, and the pure disappointment when it's not the game I want. But to wrap up this goodbye video, I want to end on a high note and reflect on the Switch's success. It's not just that it sold a whole lot of units, it's that it brought me closer to Nintendo. The Switch got me excited about gaming again during a period when I had less time for gaming. I have even less time today, but the Switch continues to pull me back to gaming and bring in those happy memories. While there's so many different variants to the Switch, I'm still rocking my day one Switch. I remember the day I pre-ordered it and eagerly counting down the days of it arriving at my doorstep. I love every single console that sits under my TV and every single handheld that sits on my desk. But the Switch might just be my favorite of the bunch. It brings so much to the table. It has reignited my love for games and has connected me to so many other players. From the instant that the Switch was first revealed to the world, I just knew we had something special here. It's kind of crazy to me that I'm starting to look back on the GameCube and Wii era with nostalgia. And I'm really curious to see how we look back on the Switch 20 years from now. What will Nintendo be at that point? Will we be gaming on our Nintendo Switch 4? Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. I know the Switch will still be here for another year or so. Even though the Switch 2 has quite a bit of poor publicity right now, I still absolutely see the potential and look forward to seeing what comes next. Nintendo Switch, you've been good to us. Rest well, and thank you for letting us play your games.